Hello there, everybody. Welcome to WhatCulture Wrestling, now working Saturdays for Fox's sake. My name is Adam Cleary, boom, and this is Phil Chambers with a hot new slice of weekend-related wrestling news for you. Coming up first, Phil, we should have worked out what order we were doing this, but whatever, we'll carry on. What we got?
What do we have? Brock Lesnar quits
No!
SmackDown.
Speaking of SmackDown, I've got loads of stuff which happened on SmackDown which you are going to lose your cock over when I tell you.
PWI forget about a women's wrestler in the women's 100.
It's quite bad, and I will finally put this whole Saudi Arabian travel story to bed. So, we're ready?
What are we doing?
This is the news. It should be a song, I think. We need jingles.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Anyway, Brock, what's happening?
Brock, he's quit SmackDown.
What?
What?
Is there an end to that sentence?
No, that's it. That's all you're getting. He opened up SmackDown with Paul Heyman. Out they come. Paul Heyman saying Brock was really, really pissed off. He said, I have to read this out verbatim because it's the most weird sentence. After the most spiritually orgasmic moment of Brock Lesnar's career.
Interesting.
Yeah. In beating Cain Velasquez at Crown Jewel, he is now incredibly pissed off at Rey Mysterio for what happened afterwards. Damn you, Rey Mysterio. So they went to Vince and they said, "Oi, Vince, give us a match against Rey Mysterio." And Vince said, "Oi, Paul.
Oi, Paul. No.
Have you ever heard of a little thing called the brand split?" And he wasn't allowed to do it because they're contracted to Raw and SmackDown, even though Brock literally the night before wrestled a Raw superstar when Brock was a SmackDown superstar. But at least they're putting things in there now.
Okay.
Ignore that. But moving forward, that seems like there's going to be a brand split.
Okay.
No wild card.
I'm not going to
question it.
I'm not going to be a dick about this, right? I'm not going to be a dick about the fact they finally decided to care about the wild card purely for one angle, because we've criticised them for not caring about the brand split.
Yep.
We've criticised them for not sticking to that. So okay, all right, clean slate, Vince.
Yep.
You've got me.
So instead of a wild card rule, he just quit SmackDown and decided that he was now going to be on Raw.
Can you just do that?
I guess.
Can I decide that I'm on Raw?
Well, Paul said that because his people are so litigious.
Litigious?
That's
I know the word you
right?
mean.
Yeah.
I know which word you mean.
Then,
litigious.
And that Brock is an absolute beast, and who the hell's going to stop him? Then they can just kind of do what they want.
But Brock's expensive. What if Raw haven't got the budget left? Like, what if they literally turned up and said, "Look, you can do what you want, but we can't pay you"?
Maybe.
But it's not how.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure this will all work out.
Was it Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss that they swapped for future? What was the wording?
Yeah, the future draft picks.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
Maybe they're swapping Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for Brock, which is
genuinely, right? Brock versus Rey Mysterio. I'm here for.
I'm 100% here
two
for that.
veterans, two steady hands, two men who are a really weird pairing because you've never seen them before. There's a good logical storyline there following on from the Velasquez thing. There's a way you can still integrate Velasquez into this story if he is going to be a full-time member of the roster.
Ray looks weirdly strong after the Crown Jewel because
Ray looks great.
After a match between Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio was the one left standing tall at the end.
Yeah, that's... Look, right...
I'm game for that.
This is the thing, I always assumed
100%.
Saudi Arabian shows weren't canon, and WWE assumed that we didn't pay attention to them, so nothing mattered. But now they're like, right, okay, let's... Again, they're committing to all these things we're criticising them for.
Indeed.
Today feels like a great day to be a WWE fan.
It really does, actually. But if they're going down the Brock versus Ray route, do they do that at Survivor Series, or do they do that later on? Because they've got the brand warfare thing
if they're
going
if they're going to be on the same brand, I'd say for the Rumble, personally.
Yeah?
Personally, I'd put Brock in a marquee match at Survivor Series against someone for another brand, and have Ray diddle him again, is what I do, because it's so easy to book WWE.
Anyway, we saw Brock wandering off into the night at SmackDown with Renee Young going, "Can he do that?" And then the camera turned around and there was Triple H looking a little bit confused, and then the camera panned around a little bit more and there was Shawn Michaels dressed in the most amount of NXT merch I have ever seen on one human being, which led to...
Well, yes, here's the thing, you see, because the the SmackDown after Crown Jewel is the new Raw after WrestleMania, it seems, because last night was comfortably the most energizing, engaging, interesting episode of WWE main roster television in 2019.
Never thought I'd say this, but WWE needs to go to Saudi Arabia
more often. This is the kind of stuff we're going to get with the travel chaos. More on that later. I am absolutely all for it. So as you say, camera pans around. There is Trips. There is Shawn Michaels. What are they doing here? What? They're meant to be on NXT, which is apparently only a 2-hour flight from New York. Given everything else, we expected to see a few NXT stars just to kind of salvage the show. Maybe a couple of special matches, something like that. I personally was expecting Matt Riddle's music to hit when Brock Lesnar was doing the thing. Like,
that would have been
they've
cool.
made my client come all the way back from Saudi Arabia, and there's not even anyone to wrestle him. Bro! I'd have lost me nut at that. But anyway, that was a little teaser. Oh, there's some NXT stuff going on. And then Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Not the advertised match. We got told we're getting a big 6-woman tag team. They binned that off straight away. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I'm here for that. Sasha Banks interferes quite a lot during the match. Bayley gets the win over Nikki Cross. And then as she's picking up her thing with her new look, and oh, look at me, I'm Bayley, I'm so hard, the camera quickly cuts to ringside where Shayna Baszler is feeding Sasha Banks the ring post. She slides into the ring, beats the piss out of her, and walks back out through the crowd. My God, Shayna Baszler has arrived. And then we go backstage to where Sami Zayn is being interviewed, doing his best Jules impression, and Matt Riddle and Keith Lee interrupt him, follow him out to the ring, and beat the piss out of him. And then Miz is doing Miz TV. He is interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa. They have a slightly weird back and forth where Miz garbles a lot of his words, probably because he's so sexually intimidated by being in a ring with Tommaso Ciampa.
I would be.
They have a match, and Tommaso Ciampa beats the piss out of him in 10 minutes. And then Daniel Bryan bumps into Triple H and Shawn Michaels backstage, says he's looking for a fight. Shawn Michaels unzips his jacket as if it's going to be him, but no, it's Adam Cole, baby. They agree to have a match at the main event of the night for the NXT Championship. The crowd lose their absolute nut. And then we go to Fire and Desire, who are in the ring. Oh, look, they're having a tag team match, apparently against somebody. Carmella's music hits. No Carmella. We cut backstage. Bianca Belair has not only, again, fed Dana Brooke one of the travel cases, but she then military presses Carmella over her head and throws her clean over, like, all these boxes. Good. She disappears out of shot off the throw, and then Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox come down to the ring, say, oh, looks like you haven't got any opponents. You have now. This was slightly ruined by the fact that when they came out, they went, and their opponents from Australia and South Wales. Kind of ruined that bit, but then, anyway, get into the ring, have a match against Fire and Desire, beat the piss out of them in under 2 minutes. And then from there, we get back, Trips and HBK come out to ringside. We get the main event of the evening, Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole. My God, if you've got 25 minutes today, just go watch this. It is... I cannot think of a better TV match WWE have had this year. Certainly not on Raw or SmackDown.
Absolutely.
There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no shenanigans. There's nothing goes wrong with it. They just literally go, right, there you go. Here's 20 minutes on telly.
Fill it.
Do a takeover match, and it literally is a takeover match. Adam Cole wins clean as a whistle. There's not even like a little distraction. He wins clean as a whistle. Everyone from NXT hits the ring. Triple H draws the battle lines. Does this really weird thing about when you start an army, you look to your family, you look to your blood, bro.
Did a really weird hug to like Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, it was just Triple H got really, really Triple H about it, but in the end said the battle line's been drawn. You have called us out. This is war. We are NXT, and SmackDown went off the air.
In classic Adam Wilborn style, was this the best episode of SmackDown ever?
Yes, it was. Yes, my cock fell clean off watching this morning when I got up. Couldn't believe it. That is genuinely one of the... We're going to do the podcast, me and Phil, later. Are we doing the podcast later today?
Yeah, let's
we'll do the podcast later today, but we'll go through all the stuff in more detail.
So good.
We'll put it all on ice until then, but basically, in the midst of a crisis, a travel crisis, which again we'll get to in a bit, WWE have delivered arguably their greatest episode of television. SmackDown's rating will be massively up off this, the intrigue factor alone.
Just the excitement. As soon as the NXT thing started happening, it was like, wait, what is happening on this show? This is something special, this is something new, and this is something great.
Raw's rating will be up because people want to see where this goes from here. NXT's rating will be
already
up.
teased Brock on Raw.
Yeah.
Like, this is... all of them sort of getting people to tune in next week kind of storytelling that we've been missing on SmackDown since the start. And now all they needed was NXT to do that.
Again, we'll get into way more detail on this on the podcast because I'm where we are probably running over time already. However, the initial read of this is that people are like, oh, once you take Vince out of the equation, things are fine. Vince would have signed off on this. Like, you can't remove Vince from the thing. Vince would have had an input on this, but apparently the main driving force behind the breakdown of the show and how it was organised and what they decided to do was largely Triple H's idea.
Yep.
feeding into this whole narrative I have that it is hashtag so easy to book WWE. Just basically take good wrestler 1 and good wrestler 2 and go, do some good wrestling, please. Because while this is a story about NXT coming in, while it is an angle and a gimmick, it is informed by 4 absolutely brilliant matches.
Yep. And I am
What do you want?
already more invested in Survivor Series right now than I have in
cannot wait.
any WWE pay-per-view since
wait.
probably Mania, and that was just because we were going to it.
Cannot wait.
It's gonna be bloody good.
Cannot wait. What else we got?
What else we got? The official PWI, they released their Women's 100.
What have they done here? How do you do
What have they
this?
done here? And there was supposed to be someone at a number 16, but they forgot to add her. I have no idea how this happens, but Kairi Sane was left out of the
Who is
official
number 16?
100. Number 16 is Mayu Iwatani.
Right. So presumably she was meant to be 17.
Yeah, I assume so. PWI did a tweet saying, we at official PWI offer a heartfelt apology to Kairi Sane, who has inadvertently left out of the Women's 100. She was slated to go in at number 16. We're not sure how this happened, and we offer no excuses.
We did a best 100 wrestlers in the world thing in an episode, in an issue of What Culture Wrestling. Probably one. Have we sold them all? Are there any right on the shelf?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything
There's a
here,
couple
is
on the
there?
shelves. In one of them, we did the best 100 wrestlers in the world. Logistically, it was a nightmare. But even us idiots at What Culture, with like nobody working full time on that magazine, everybody just chipping in, we did manage to not leave off any wrestlers.
Incredible.
That was, Jesus. I mean, like
Kairi Sane as well. It's not like
it's
not like it's someone down at 99 or whatever. This is like
it's somebody who's on television
prominent,
every week
amazing women's
holding a championship in WWE at present. Like, my complete sympathies. I'm not trying to bury PWI for this. My complete sympathies because, again, we made a magazine. I once accidentally ordered a load of copies which didn't have any right-hand pages on them because I remember that quite well. These things do happen.
They were good, then.
They were good. Yeah, that was good. Hey,
Do you reckon you can guess the top 5?
in the world right now.
Yes.
The PWI think's kayfabe as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Becky Lynch.
Yes, number 1.
Still Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey is number 3.
Number 3. Rio.
No.
Let's have a think. Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard is number 5.
Sasha's been in and out all year. Can't really go for her.
Rio is not on the list.
Charlotte.
Charlotte is number 2.
Still. What have I got? I've got 1, 2.
1 more.
4 and 5. Top 5. Oh,
Yeah.
not Tessa Blanchard. Not. Oh God, who's had a banner? Yeah. Am I going to kick myself?
Yes, 100%.
100%. Bailey.
No.
Is it WWE?
WWE.
Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
There we go.
There
See?
it is.
Hey, Naz's lasses, this boy. Who else we got? Who's top 10? Who's else in top 10?
Top 10. Number 6 is Bailey.
Bayley.
7, Natalia.
Natalia,
8,
fair.
8 is Io Shirai.
Mercedes
9
Martinez.
is Mercedes Martinez. 10 is Nicole Savoy.
Asuka dropping
Asuka
all the way to
dropping to
11.
11.
Jesus.
Alexa Bliss, Toni Storm, Sasha Banks.
Nicely beat Priestley in 20th. I did want to point
Yeah.
out, by the way, I really enjoyed last night's episode of WCPW versus SmackDown. literally, it's only the Miz versus Tommaso Ciampa segment that doesn't have our stench all over it somehow. Keith Lee and Sami Zayn. Keith Lee and Matt Riddle chasing Sami Zayn out.
Sami Zayn.
WCPW alumni. The
Yeah.
pair of them. Main event, Adam Cole. Literally the 5th most interesting Adam to ever work in that company. Like, it's just good stuff.
What else have we
Good
got?
stuff.
Anything else, or are we done?
There's finally some conclusion to the travel chaos, and that,
Oh, yeah.
and that conclusion is they all got back. 24 hours after they were originally supposed to land, they finally put them on a separate chartered flight and flew all the remaining talent back. There's been a million tweets about this. Rusev saying he needs your prayers, brother, which I thought was a bit of a dig at Hogan getting his own flight. There's loads of stuff we can read at this. Right now, we do not officially know the official confirmation about why officially they were not allowed to leave, but Uncle David said it wasn't mechanical. There were flights out of Saudi Arabia to New York. There was one, we even got into some proper journalism yesterday.
I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, sat and tracked this flight all the way out of Riyadh.
Look at you.
I know.
Like once every 6 months or something, you break out
Every
some
time
proper
they go to
journalism.
Saudi Arabia, don't I just get my little cap on. I'm like, right, I'm going to get the bottom of this, me. Yeah, so I'll be on Al Jazeera talking about flight plans this time around. The flight they were meant to be on did sit on the tarmac for an hour, we think, but then did finally leave after WWE's talent and crew were taken off it. So we don't know what the official reason for this is yet, but we work 6 days a week now, so no doubt when we find out, you will too. That's it, nothing official on that though.
We're done. I forgot to get to Twitter questions.
So did I, but
yeah, we'll be back.
We've got
It's Saturday.
It is Saturday, so thank you very much for getting out of bed to watch us, or if you're in America, being up, I guess. And if you're in Australia, please do not watch this while you are driving. Phil, where can I get you on Twitter?
At Phil My Chambers.
You get me at Adam Cleary, CLERY, and the entire WhatCulture wrestling family available to you at WhatCulture WWE. Wilbur normally says something about podcasts here. I forget what it is.
Listen
Goodbye.
to podcasts. You just got filled in.
Yes, I forgot about that. You got filled in. I've just made things a little bit clearier.